A very good morning to all of you. This is me, Neef Goswami, welcoming you all in a very, very special show as today is Wednesday and it's our ULLAS time. This session you're watching at PME Vidya channel number 14 and on our official YouTube channel, which is NCERT official. So let me give you a brief overview of ULLAS, what exactly it is. So when it comes to the ULLAS, the full form is Understanding of Lifelong for All in Society, which is a Nav Bharat Saksharta Karyakram. When we talk about a brief overview of this, so this program is brought to you by CIET NCERT and the credit goes to School Education Literacy Department of Education, Government of India. So today we are going to talk about foundational literacy and language learning. And to give you a brief over this, to elaborate this to you, I'm having as an expert in the studio Miss Yachana Gupta, who is a senior consultant at Cell for National Center for Literacy, which is CNCL NCERT. Ma'am, a very warm welcome.
Thank you so much.
So before we taking forward this session with Yachana ma'am, here's a piece of information for all our viewers, and that is, if you have any question, if you have any query and you want to send us any feedback regarding this session, you can directly write us on our mail, and our mail ID is flashing on your screen, which is cncl.ncert@yahoo.com. So without hesitation, just ask your queries, your questions and give us your feedback there only. And as I've mentioned that if you're watching us on NCERT official, you can directly ask your questions in the live chat box, because there's a live chat box facility is also available there. So let's start this session. It's an important session, yet an interesting one. So Yachana ma'am, first of all, I just want to know what we are going to learn today, what we are going to discuss today, and how this session is going to be important for all our learners.
Sure. So you already mentioned about ULLAS. So people, those who know about it, that's really good. But there are few who might join us today only. So ULLAS is a scheme that is sponsored by central government, and it is an initiative by Ministry of Education, where we are talking about people, those who never been able to get formal education or school education, and they are being a part of this program by being a volunteer, or they can register as a learner. Now this program focuses on age group of 15 years and above, those who never been able to educate themselves to get a formal education. Basically, when we talk about reading, writing, ability to read, write, ability to compute, ability to do mathematics, they might do it in their own ways by simply dealing it with notes and recognizing a note through the color or through the pattern that is there on it, but they might not know the numeral on it. So that is why we are trying to help them how they can read, how they can write in any age group beyond the boundaries of school. So that is what we are doing in ULLAS.
Absolutely, indeed. Education is important, and education for all. This is our initiative. This is the initiative of Government of India, our Ministry Department, our Education Ministry Department. And ma'am, when it comes to the literacy, I really want to know what is the exact definition of literacy, and what do you mean by foundational literacy?
Sure. So to give you a glimpse about literacy, I have a PPT as well, where I have given a whole literacy definition, what is literacy and what we are talking about the literacy. So it's just not limited to writing or your name or signing, which usually earlier the focus in all old programs we can talk about. But now we are talking about the ability where they will be able to read, write in whatever language they are speaking or whatever language they have. So literacy is the ability where they can read, write, compute with understanding, with comprehension. That's the most important part, that where they will be able to comprehend, identify, understand, interpret what it is there, what is there in the picture, what is there in a small slogan, and they can create along with what can be the next step, what I can write through it. So it actually is an amalgamation of various things, and we are not just focusing on literacy it is also include critical life skill, digital literacy, financial literacy, which is a very much part of our life these days. You have scanners, you have mobiles, you have so much forms that you only can fill on websites. So these are the new era that we have. The media is there. You have a lot of exposure to multimedia spaces, and you have phones in your hand, you have internet connectivity even in the rural areas. So that is why focusing on digital literacy is important, as well as the aspect of critical life skill, where we talk about health and hygiene, where we talk about all these other aspects of the literacy.
Absolutely. We learned about literacy. Ma'am, as I've asked you earlier, like what exactly meaning of the foundational literacy, and as you have defined literacy, so what do you mean by the foundational literacy? That
Sure.
I want to know.
So when I'll try to explain you. The ULLAS is actually following 5 components.
Okay.
So first one is foundation literacy and numeracy. Next is critical life skill. Then you have other areas like vocational skill education, continuing education, and lifelong learning. So these 5 areas we are focusing in this program. The first step is foundational literacy. Now the foundational level of literacy, where we can read, write and perform basic operations of numbers. So they will be able to do addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Literacy is not just that we focus on the reading and writing a language. It also includes numbers. So whenever we go out, we talk with someone, we do talk in using numbers as well as with the language. And if you talk about school education, within the mathematics, we deal with language. Be it Hindi, be it English, books are developed by using a language. So you cannot just separate numerals or mathematics from a language component. Both will go hand in hand, and we should keep them together as well. So that is why the foundational level of literacy is that where a person will be able to speak, read, write or perform the numeracy operations within their native language or the language the person is using, whatever language is it. It can be any language.
Absolutely. Literacy is not just that you can read and write, it's all about that you can calculate the things, you can merge things together, and numbers, that numerology is very, very important. As ma'am mentioned, that if you in a school and you are having a mathematics book, that is also in at least one language, in Hindi or in English. Ma'am, you have told us like what languages. It's actually plays a vital role in anyone's life. So I just want to know what is language learning, because like we are now communicating with each other. There is a language. That's why we are communicating. Even if we talk about a sign language, that is also a language. So what is language learning?
Okay, I must say that it's going to be a big comment, but we will start with the small parts.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a pedagogical process. Those who are teaching a language, they're using a pedagogy, that how they're going to deliver a language.
Okay.
Right. Over here in ULLAS, we are focusing that whatever way we are doing, or the language learning we are dealing is, it not just reading, writing. There are 4 skills that are included in it: listening, speaking, reading and writing. So all these components, all these skills, a person need to work upon when they are trying to teach a language to a person or a learner. All these 4 components. And there are multiple researches where we talk about that reading and learning a language is a constructive process which involves meaning making. So it's a complex process. And the focus in all these activities is finding a meaning, making a meaning, or getting or generating a meaning. Whatever is there, we are reading, whatever, maybe it's a poster, maybe it's a ticket, whatever is written on that, it is actually giving us some meaning, why it is there and what information we are supposed to gather. So in whole process of language learning, the focus is on generating meaning, comprehension, understanding. Yeah.
So when we talk about language learning, this is all about that how we take up things like step by step, and that's very important. Ma'am, I just want to know that if we have people in front of us and they are different age of groups, and we need to understand something to them, so is there any level to teach them something, or all are them on a same page?
Okay. So because we are talking about the ULLAS learners and the age group we set is 15 years
and above.
minimum. Minimum is 15 years. And people can be beyond that age,
Exactly.
40 years, 30 years, 70 years. Whosoever feels that I want to learn a language, I want to learn how to read and write, can be a learner in this whole program. So learners level is going to be varied from each other. My one group of learner may have a 15-year-old person, 17-year-old person, and different age group people. It can be 40-year-old people, 30-year-old. So when I am going to transact my language learning lesson with them, when I'm going to interact with them to focus on language learning, I should keep in mind the levels that are vary. And I need to also be mindful that because a person at certain age is not that open, my language with them, my body language and how I'm going to interact that person is different with the young person that I'm going to interact, because there are different ways of dealing and interacting with people. So, and as you know that it's a very basic concern that when we are talking with elders, we are more respectful to them. We keep in mind that we should not use the words that are maybe not easily comprehensible to them. So we need to be mindful that whatever we are saying or whatever we are speaking or trying to provide information to our learners, we need to focus that who is there and what we are delivering to that person. It should be comprehensible to the person, because only then it will be fruitful for us and for them.
Exactly. So ma'am, we have just learned about like different learners, how we can tackle them, what should be our body language with them, and our language. Absolutely, that's very important.
True.
But like you have told us about language learning, why language is important. But can we move forward with our PPT, with our
Sure,
presentation,
sure.
which is abide with primer ULLAS and lot of things. So can we move forward with that?
Well, of course.
Yeah.
So when we were talking about language learning, I'll try to give you this primers a help, and we can move forward with that. Okay. So as you can see on the screen, there is a poster, and that poster has some information that is happening. It can be a neighborhood, it can be a rural area, it can be any place. This example I have taken it from ULLAS primer, but someone can take any poster that is relevant to the topic they are dealing with. Any poster, it can be a calendar poster, it can be anything that they want to talk about. So as you can see over here, there is a dialog box where we have questions for discussion. For example, the first one is, where is this picture taken? Why? Who is doing what? So this is some few questions to initiate the talk, to give them an idea that they can observe things, what is happening in the whole poster. It helps a person to understand or to able to communicate. I might not be able to tell you, or I might be shy to explain you where I live, what is my neighborhood, who all I have nearby me. But by using a poster, I might ask them to look at it, observe it, and then give me the information. So it's a very ice-breaking activity for a learner with a volunteer teacher. You can break the ice with learners because it's very important. People, those who are coming after an age, after getting things done in their life, they're doing a job, they do have a skill, and they're coming to us to get the education. It is not that easy.
Exactly.
There are a lot of inhibition, there are a lot of people, those who might demotivate them, why you're going it, what you're doing, look at yourself, this is not your age, this is not suitable for you. So we need to be mindful to break the ice and give them the opportunity to talk. The more they feel free to talk and share, the more they will learn. Because whenever we learn to express ourselves, only then we'll be able to talk freely. And within the language learning, it is very important. Well, we will get opportunity to talk, to share our feelings or whatever we can share. The sharing gives us an idea what we have in our vocabulary and what we can pick from others. So I might not know something which is happening over here, but by explaining or trying to explain it in some other language or getting a clue from my volunteer, I will be able to pick the word. So I'm enhancing my vocabulary. Okay, now let's look at this poster again. This poster is talking about a lot of things that is happening, activities that is going on. Okay. Now you can say that there are animals, children are playing, the woman is there, there are few women, those who are talking, someone is taking a pot that is filled with water, other one is trying to fill their own bucket. There are a lot of activity that is going on, right? So we are trying to read this poster. Okay. Nothing is written on the poster that what is happening, but with the help of picture, we are trying to read this picture. Now, I would like to, give me the information that you can observe from the poster. There is one lady and nearby these two kids, those who are playing, and there is a girl. Now, just by looking at the expression of the lady, what do you feel? What is she trying to explain or what is happening with it?
Ma'am, actually, by her pointing a finger, that she's saying something to a child that who's rotating the tire. And might be she's scolding her child as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So because we are able to understand the expression, that it is not a happy expression, it is something that the lady is trying to scold them or trying to tell them not to play, it's time to study and something. Nothing is written over here.
Exactly.
Nothing, not even a single word. But with the use of this image, with the use of expression, you read what is happening. So that is what a poster reading or a picture reading. Within language learning, it's a very important tool as well as very important component to initiate language learning. Another point is the prediction. Although there was nothing written over here, we tried to read their expression, but we also predicted that it can be this. They might be having a discussion that they're supposed to stop the play, right? So that is how we are predicting what is happening or what the other person is having in their mind. No information is there, but we try to read it. Okay, now look at another point, the numeracy point. The house near these people, the lady and the girl, there is a number written on the house. Can you tell me what is it?
The number is written on the house. Something like 00, I guess.
It's just nearby the girl.
Yeah.
So the number was 7.
Okay.
There was some number written on it.
Okay.
So they are giving us an idea that house number is there. So when we are talking about language learning, as I already mentioned with you, it is not just about able to understand a particular language. It also includes numbers. So we are focusing on numbers as well. The numbers written on the house. There are other numbers written on the house and other things that was there on the poster. So we can initiate our conversation, our talk by different focus area. Now, what I want my learners to focus on, that is my area of expedition, that I need to focus this time on this area, this much of part, that first they will interact, they will talk or initiate the talk so that I will be able to understand what is the level of my learner, how much vocabulary they have, what I need to work on, and most important, where I supposed to start. Because the initial level, the beginning point, I should be able to know if I am aware that my learner is on first level or on the second level, or this learner is on the first level and other learner is on the second level, then only I'll be able to move forward with a better idea and better pedagogy.
Exactly. Yachana ma'am, I have a question here for you. Like the question is that, as you've said, that the picture has some numbers. Okay. So when we talk about those numbers, and definitely when we talk about the people who are like from 15 and above age, this is a program for them only. Like
Exactly.
this is a literacy program. So when they don't know about the numbers, so can we there just point out and we actually have an idea like this is the place where we need to work with them? Is it?
As I already mentioned, that we need to be mindful what we need to focus on. So if I want them to have an idea that there are some numbers written on it, it is not just symbol or not just in design, there is a numeral. They might not know how to write it or read it, but they do have an idea of there are numbers, counting, they know. The 10, there is 9, there is 7. You say that it's written 7, they automatically understand, oh, 7 you're talking about. But when it is written, they will not be able to understand because they do not have the idea or the knowledge of numerals, right? So that is the problem. We need to focus on the numeral parts. We need to focus on how they can read, how they can write. Okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can we move forward?
Sure. So let's see the next slide, and I would like to explain further about language learning and the process of language learning. Now let's just look at this page that is taken from the first theme, family and neighborhood. This is the first theme from the ULLAS primer. The primer that I have taken over here is developed by Assam SCRT team, and this primer belongs to them. So they developed in English because they find a lot of learners, those who are speaking English language, so that might help them to get give them an idea how they can read and write English. So over here you can see that within the blue color, what we are going to learn, that there are 4 letters A, B, C and D, and they also gave you an idea that we are going to cover the numbers, that is 1 to 20. Now let's understand how we are going to help a learner to get this information, or how they are going to learn these alphabets. Now just look at the first question that is written. They're saying identify the pictures and read. As a learner, I might not be able to read what is written over here.
Yeah, true.
Right? Because I do not have knowledge of reading alphabets and I do not know how to read and write.
True.
But the picture is giving me an idea what is over here. So the first information, the first picture is about a shop. People are there in a queue, there is a rate card, there is a sack that can be of grain or anything. So this picture is telling me it's about a shop, it's a shop. So without reading the word, I am able to read the picture. Okay, now shop, the word I have, now I will try to focus that shop, S sound, S sound, S how I denoted, the sound S is there, and how we write it, it is the form. So next time when I start another word with S, it might be sheep, I will again focus, my focus will go on to the word S. Okay, this is S, the sound we speak. So similarly, slowly, they will gradually able to understand that there is a letter and this is the sound that is associated with it.
Okay.
Okay, similarly, we have different pictures. There is a family, there is a house, and then we have neighbors, we have public, we have lane. So over here, because the people, whom we are dealing, they have a language. We are not giving them an idea that, oh, this is a pen, this is a pencil, this is a watch, this is a light, this is a fan. No, they have vocabulary. They speak in that language. They are able to communicate with you very well in that language. We are going to use that language. We are going to take that language in our classroom, and by using a picture, by giving them an idea that read the picture. You might not be able to read the word, but read the picture. So it's a shop, it's a village, it's a pot, it's different thing that can be there. So they will be able to read the picture and slowly will able to try to identify letters. Now let's look at the another slide, what we have next. Now within this picture, after they start reading the picture, now we are putting the focus on the letter. Because A we were talking about. Now with the letter A, we have Assam, we have apple, and we have ant. Now you need to look at the line that is there below the pictures that we have kept for writing purpose. Now you may ask me that we even not started with the reading and we are starting with the writing at the same time. Why? So this is why, because reading and writing cannot be separated, or we should not take them that first we will make them understand how to read and then they will be able to understand how to write. No. Once I able to start identify a letter, I immediately will start writing the letter. And because they are adult people, the fine motor skills are very well developed. With student we might delay it because we want them how to hold a pencil or a pen. We make them learn it because the fine motor skills are not that well developed. With them they are well developed. So we just start with the same thing with the same time, reading and writing. So within this they are able to identify a letter, that there is a sound A, Assam, apple, ant, and then they are going to write it with the same time. How am I supposed to write it? It will give me an idea that there is an association with a letter and a sound. It is not something alienated or foreign that is not at all related to me, that I'm teaching or I'm getting in the class. It is very well relevant. What I'm speaking, I'm writing. So that is how we're trying to build the connection. Another word, the letter is B, ball, bat, bus. So through these examples, we're trying to give them an idea that there is a letter that is associated with a sound. And that's how we do it with different language. With English, we are doing it this way. With some other language, we are going to deal in different ways. Whatever alphabets they have in their language, we will start with that. Now, there is one important point that we need to remember when we are dealing with our learners, that whatever letter we are going to focus on, it should not always be in the first position of a word. It should always be in the middle and at the end of a word. So that it will give me an idea that a word or a letter, there are a lot of letters within a word. And a letter can be at the beginning, at the end, or in the middle of a word. And that's how whole word, sentences are formed and developed. The whole language process is not something that we are dealing, or mechanical way of boring ways of dealing it, that we need to break the words, we need to break the sound. This is letter, if we need to write L plus E double T plus E plus. It's not that way. Whenever we start learning a language, we learn it in a full manner. Nobody, when they start speaking with the child, they start telling them, okay, first we will give them an idea how to start with A sound. So we will only start with the words A, right? We always speak with them in a full sentences. Whatever is happening, whatever is if we want to share them the feeling, oh, this is very nice, you like it, you don't like it, we speak in a proper sentence.
Yes.
So that is why the process of language learning should be in the same way. We should be also focusing on the full sentences. Now look at the next example that is over here. They are focusing on C and there are different examples for that. Let us see car, cat, cake, and D, dog, dove and doll. Now we need to be mindful. There is another page that I have kept over here. Coconut, cow, cup and dog, duck and doll. Now you need to understand, this page I have taken it from Andaman and Nicobar. Because they are in an island, they have coconut, they kept the picture coconut over here. So we need to be mindful of this fact as well, that whatever I have in my context or whatever my learner has in its context, I need to keep that in my primer or in my conversation, or whenever I'm teaching my learner, that should be there so that they feel connected and they feel that it's relevant to me. It's not something very different from me or something that I don't connect with, right?
Absolutely. Relatability should be there, and the context, as you have said. Ma'am, moreover, if we talk about these words like cat, dog, elephant, so like by this method, they'll be able to understand the letters. And when it comes to the letter formation, it is in capital letters. So how we can take them towards the small letters, that the letters coming in between of it, as you have said, like we talk to them in a proper manner, like in a full sentences.
Exactly.
So how we can integrate that part into their education?
Sure. So as you have seen in the primer, they gave both the letters, the smaller one as well as the capital one. The last image that we had, so they kept the capital letters on the highlighted mode, and then the smaller letter in the small portion, that we begin with it, but later on when we start writing, we cannot follow the bigger letters. We will go with the small letters when we start in a full structured sentences. So later on they will come up with that. But first, because we want them to identify, this is the way that we start with the capitals.
Absolutely. So this is one of the stages.
One of the stages, because it's a beginning level. Smaller, gradually we will process it. With the capital letters, then the small letters, then how they're going to write. The focus is only on the letter. Slowly they will start writing the whole word. They'll able to identify the word and they will start writing the word. So then we will go on with the process. And when you have seen it, the word that is there in the picture over there, they started with a capital letter, but the next letter is in a small one. So and add and as all has the similar same structure that we follow when we write a language. So it
Exactly.
will also give them an idea that how we write a word, right?
Absolutely. I mean, this is such a beautiful method. It's such a like a stageful method, like where we can make them understand what exactly the letter is all about, and then we develop the whole thing into
Exactly.
them, as they are not someone with whom you just try the things from the scratch. And thank you so much, ma'am. There's a lot more, as I
Exactly.
just want you to mention the same to our
Sure,
viewers.
sure. So we have to finish a lot of steps within the language learning. There are a lot of more steps involved. There are a lot other pages that we have in primers that I would like to talk about. But because we have less time, we will talk it and we will take it later on the next
Yeah,
session.
absolutely. Here's a time foundation.
Sure.
So this was Ullas for today, but we'll be back on the next Wednesday as well with this with the part 2 of this, or maybe another topic. But we will keep this in mind that education is important, education is for all, and this is an initiative of Government of India. Thank you so much, Yachana ma'am,
Thank you so much for calling me.
for this insightful session. And now it's time to wrap up the session with all of you. But here's a piece of information for our grade 4 and grade 7 students, that if you are worried about your textbook, that where you get your textbooks, the NCERT new textbooks, so you don't need to be worried about the same, because you can get your textbook from NCERT official website, and the textbooks are available on e-commerce website like Amazon and Flipkart. Thank you so much for joining us in this session. This is our Ullas, the special session which you were watching at PME Vidya channel number 14 and on our YouTube channel, which is NCERT Official. Take care of yourself. Stay tuned with NCERT Official. This is Mineef Goswami signing off. Namaskar.